So it's Wednesday morning, beginning of our work week, and we're working on an outdoor shower down by the yurt.
We're thinking about having a walkway right here of bamboo that Adam is putting together. So kind of like walls that go up and around, and then this trench here is the footing for the rock wall. So it'll be about, foot thick or so.
Right.
And then the rock wall will come up about this high, we're thinking.
Okay.
And then all this will be kind of like lava rock pavers, pretty smooth. Won't be too sharp or nothing, so you can walk on it pretty good.
Okay.
And then the bamboo wall will be about this tall, about 60 inches is what we got. So
Okay.
you kind of have a tunnel, and then we're thinking about doing like having bamboo posts on the end. Right here, nice big thick ones from the bottom of the trunks, and then a nice arch that goes over it, and then that's where your curtain will be. So you'll have a curtain and come in here, maybe a couple hooks here, little bench right here, so you can sit down and take off your shoes or whatever, and then the water will probably come in about right here and kind of shoot down about right there. So you will have all this room. It's not too big, the shower paddle is only that wide, so, but enough to get wet.
Yeah.
Since this is really packed down dirt, obviously if water goes in there, it can hold water pretty well, which is not what we want. So we want the water to drain that way for the banana trees, which is good. So we can dig out more, put some smaller gravel in there, right? Mm-hmm. And then we could put our foundational lava rocks on top of that, and I think that would drain pretty well, personally. Yeah, that's an idea.
Okay.
Because
So here's what I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
is that so with time,
Mm-hmm.
all the skin and stuff that we're washing this is eventually going to make a nice mucky layer on the bottom, and that's going to serve to really nicely seal this in like a pond. Okay. So if the surface was this, I thought this was a rock pad. I thought if you dug down, you're going to hit rock and basically be porous. But this stuff's going to get more and more packed over time. I think that this needs to be dug all the way out on the other side, so it actually is a waterfall on the back side.
I was thinking that too. We've got a rock wall there that we have to deal with. Like not a wall per se, but we have kind of a rock wall there and some big ass rocks there too. But you're saying dig an actual Okay.
trench so that the water actually seeps out.
Yeah.
Kind of like a French drain that
Yeah.
goes that way.
Yeah, exactly. Or wherever we want it to. If we want it to go into this banana, great. But I don't think since this thing is a raised mound, the water is going to go through this and eventually end up down there, right? No way about it. So what I wanted to do is think about where the water is going to go once it gets down there, and ultimately, I just want to keep it from going that way. So if it goes straight out this way, no problem. We can make so maybe we're going to have to do some earthworks back here a little bit. So this is where the rock wall is.
It doesn't look like much. It's not like,
It's just a stacked wall. I would say the water can pour through the wall or over the wall. Yeah, I'll just hold this. But in either case, it's going to need to get out of this pit, or we're going to be breeding mosquitoes and stuff. Because what's going to happen is we're going to put these rocks down. There's going to be a space under the rocks, and all that water is going to settle in there and basically be like a pool under these rocks.
soapy skin.
Of soapy skin, nasty
Water.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. So I like the plan. Here's the other thought. This wall back here, for example, that's for blocking privacy from there.
Yeah.
And this one is for blocking privacy from there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
plus creates a little walkway where we have our shower rod and curtain,
space.
but also like a couple hooks for towels and stuff. So just like a little, maybe 2 or 3 foot
Okay.
entrance walkway.
Cool. And that'll look cool. That'll give a nice vibe.
Yeah.
I was kind of having the beaker look.
That's cool.
The beaker look. He's really committed to the beaker look.
The beaker look. Okay. My only other concern is potentially as this rock wall builds up, right? Rock walls are fatter at the bottom than at the top, right? So basically you'd have usually 2 stack bottom. Could be a single stack bottom. You don't have if you have some really big rocks, but it's going to get narrower, it gets towards the top. So it's kind of a narrow bottom. I'd say that's almost going to be the thickness at the top. I'd say maybe as you dig this out, dig it back more and have a little bit more of a base. And in that way, when it comes up, you can tilt it maybe the back side will be a little straighter and this side will tilt away a little bit, because basically the wall, you want it to have this kind of a shape, right? It's not strong like this. It needs to lean in on itself.
Yeah.
So if you start, what I'm afraid is if you start there, as you build this thing up, it's going to get narrow, and we're going to be
looking kind of narrow actually.
Yeah, I'd say you got a lot of space here. These that's not important. None of this stuff is important. Let's open this thing up a little bit. I like the idea. I like the positioning. Let's open it up and figure out that drain on the back side. Yeah, okay. Maybe it needs to go right into that banana and then down into another banana. Maybe you cut a trench here and that goes right to the banana. Whatever it is, let's find a way, and then let's try the water. Let's let it run for 10 minutes and see where the water goes. Oh, it goes in the banana and then drips down in that next banana. Awesome. Then we'll dig a little ditch down there and we'll let that go and fill it with some mulch. And then we'll have 2 mulch bins. It'll be kind of like a gray water system.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
So let's work on that. Let's expand this. This thing. I think it's tricky, because you got people over there and over here. So the wall sometimes I've seen them where it's like a spiral. You walk, there's no shower curtain because you walk in and the spiral actually, like if you had the walls like this, maybe you wouldn't even need the shower curtain.
I was thinking if this wall went kind of in like this, and then this wall
kind of came like
kind
that.
of went like that, it would create a.
And again, maybe that isn't necessary here. Maybe that's not gonna, it's not a totally open area. There's got this massive boulder, and over here you're probably not gonna mess with. So maybe this is the best plan. Yeah, those walls. Maybe we do need a little shower curtain. And again, it could be something. It's not gonna ever get wet. It could be something nicer. It could be something cloth, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's good because then people also, if somebody's in there and they're drying off, somebody doesn't walk in.
Yeah.
Right, because you have a
Sure, curtains closed.
Exact curtains closed. So maybe it's better to have a curtain just as a communication, right?
Yeah.
I saw this really cool one where it was in Orcas Island near Seattle, and it was an old permaculture farm. These guys, and basically you have to turn the water on, and when you turn the water on to the system, it had a little hole in the tube that would shoot a little spray of water across the area, so people knew, okay, someone's using the shower.
Oh.
And also when you go out, you get sprayed. You're like, oh, got to turn the water off.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't have that issue because we're not turning water on.
Cool,
Yeah. So let's widen that pit. Find out. Let's go ahead and excavate that and get to where the edge is, so we know exactly what we're dealing with. And then let's plant. Let's make the water more deliberate. Let's give it because it's you can't trust that it's going to permeate. It might over time. It probably isn't.
I agree. It's pretty thick.
Make sense?
Stuff. Yeah, pretty thick.
Okay, so let's go with that and then see where we get to. You guys I'm not going to tell you where it needs to go because that's kind of up to the water, but you have a good sense of the way water moves.
We already did the drain test, and it really does,
kind of pull in there. Okay,
so,
cool. So then let's dig it. Let's give it.
Drain deal.
Yeah, and then we could do lava pavers. We could do cinder. Let's get the rock wall in, and then we'll say, okay, there's the pad. I'd say it's cool if you don't have to pour cement.
Oh yeah.
Even if you don't have to use mortar in the wall, if you want to do dry stack and maybe just cement in the top ones just to keep it from moving, maybe you don't even need to. I think the one upstairs has been there for 15 years. I don't think there's any mortar in any of that up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that guy was like a real, like Hawaiian rock master.
Nice.
But maybe you are too.
We'll see.
Okay, so good. So let's go with that.
The base, as we said, is going to be rock wall, and then the top is going to be bamboo walls. So we're going to take you through a couple steps of how we're going to build bamboo walls. So River is our village lumberjack and arborist, And so here we are at the large bamboo forest, and he was kind of picking out which one we want to use and why. So River, why?
I like this one because it's pretty, you know, it's got a nice girth to it, and it's pretty straight.
Yeah,
So that's why I like it.
perfect for the wall. We've decided that our length that we want is going to be 60 inches per piece of bamboo. So he's going to do his thing and chop that up. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you the next step in making the bamboo wall. So we need to take one of these up to the shop. Okay, welcome to the shop. So what we want to do is we want to cut these bamboo pieces in half, like that. All right, so the first step is going to be just taking a circular saw and going through the middle. These halves are going to go together like this, like flip flop, flip flop. But see, we can't do that right now because of these ribs. So we need to get those off like this so that they can clap together. So in order to do that, clamp this down. Then we take the Sawzall and just kind of like make some notches, and then I'm gonna hand chisel it out. Okay, the result is a nice clear middle section, and I'll just demonstrate how this is going to go on the floor right here. So it's going to go like that, like that, like this, like that, okay? So that fits together really nicely, total privacy, there's no way to see through that. And I'm going to take a wire, drill holes through these, and that will connect them. And the cool thing is, that'll be a nice, strong, sturdy wall. It's going to be able to curve around our round shower section, and total privacy. And I will be putting a coating of protectant on here because, you know, we get a lot of sun, a lot of rain here, so we need to protect this stuff so bugs don't get in it and erosion and things like that. So that is step 1, 2, and 3 of doing a bamboo wall for our shower.